Hi guys, Tiffany here, and welcome to my quilting life. So Sunday, I forgot the date, and I didn't even actually put it on the video. 9/15. So it's September 15th, and yeah, don't forget, if you're new to my channel, head down there, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like and share my videos and whatever else, because yeah, that's what we do. And in the whole process of me doing something, I forgot to grab my glasses. Hi Vicky, hi Tanya. So I don't want to, I could stand, I guess, it's no big deal, but hi June. I could see with the glasses on. So today I'm going to just be making a random beginner project that you can do without having to cut anything but the background. That's right. We're just going to use, I just grabbed out a 30-piece, but you can make this bigger. A 30-piece charm square pack just to make something. And then I just chose, because I buy by the bolt, you guys know that, I just chose a background color that goes well and complements the fabric. And all I'm going to do is cut some squares out of this. This is the only thing I have to cut. I'm not going to do anything with the charm pack. We're just going to build this. So, hi Janet, hi Dewana, hi Maggie. Justin's coming over to say hi, guys. He's right here. You guys remember Justin? Bye. He's my male best friend. Like, I have female best friends and male best friends. And, he's my male best friend. You guys remember him from a video. He's here visiting just for today, though. But the table runner. If you remember, he made the table runner on So Sunday. Helped make. His table runner on So Sunday, what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks ago?
I don't know how long ago.
Quite a while ago.
CJ's birthday, so like a month and a half? So like 6 weeks ago?
Yeah, like 6 weeks ago.
A couple months ago.
So yeah, he's here every once in a while visiting. So they're saying hi to you. And Scott's in here also. He's always shirtless, so he's not going to come on camera.
I don't want to be on camera.
He's just saying hi, though.
I'm going to leave and go watch him play
anyway, so yeah, I am going to
do you need anything
no,
water? Anything?
Make 2 different size cuts from my yardage. I don't even know how much I'm going to need. I do know that I will need at least 30 5-inch squares from this, so that way there's an equal amount of both. So we're going to go ahead and start by cutting. This is just a beginner project. If you don't know what you're doing, I'd say buy, I don't know, 2 yards, 2.5 yards of a contrasting color for a 30-piece pack. Usually they're 42, but this is a Fabric Central packs, and they only come with 30 pieces. It's kind of weird, but I'm going to make do because I'm just making a small project for today's video. So I'm going to move that out of the way, and we're going to cut some yardage, which is very wrinkly, but I don't really feel like pressing anything, but it looks like I'm going to have to because it is super wrinkly. Hi, Shelly. Well, Scott and Justin already took off. I think they're going to the grocery store. What did I have of this? I have 5 yards of this fabric, so I'm going to make it last. And if I'm out of the screen, that's because I'm walking back and forth. I was going to do another side project that I have, but I think I'm just going to iron a little bit of this fabric real quick. My room just got vacuumed, so it's a disaster in here. I had to pick everything up off the floor. Give me a second and I'll get some of this yardage cut off and press it. We're going to keep track of how much yardage I use by cutting off some yardage. So I'm going to block the camera real quick so that I can measure how much I'm going to need. All right, guys. So we're just going to cut off 2 yards real quick. And we're just going to start with 2 yards and see what happens from there, right? So here's 1 yard. That way I can keep track, and it's easier to be able to tell you guys how much yardage I use on a spur-of-the-moment project. So I'm blocking the camera. So here's my 2 yard mark right here. I'm going to go ahead and line it up right here on this number. And just remember that and cut it right there. Let's see if we could make this work nicely. And that was not a straight cut at all, but we're just going to move this out of the way and start with 2 yards, and I'm going to press it. So remember that one. 2 yards. Whoa, what is my computer doing? That's weird. Hi, Linda. My computer just glitched. That was the weirdest thing. All right. So I cut 2 yards. We'll see what happens. Because I'm going to be setting this on point, and I'm going to make it really simple for you guys. So the on point, the blocks that get cut to make things on point are actually bigger because you're cutting setting triangles. But I'm also cutting blocks to fill in every other block so that everything's on point. So I'm going to turn this over to the ironing station. Carefully, carefully, carefully. So that you guys can watch me just press this real quick and make it nice and flat. You'd think that if it's on a bolt that it'd be flat, but it sits wrinkled on shelves, so it gets really crooked, funky pretty quickly. And the cool thing about my ironing board is it fits almost 2 yards nicely. Oh. And if you hear me coughing, sneezing, and all that, it's because I'm actually sick. Again, like always. I get sick so easily because I have a really weak immune system. So I'm just lining up the selvages and taking out all the wrinkles. We want this as flat as possible. I have no idea what your last comment meant. For me, my last comment meant, I have no idea either. I don't remember what I commented on or what I said. I never remember anything. I have no water in my iron either. I'm just all over the place today, huh? You tell I took a nighttime because I don't have any daytime Dayquil. I only have NyQuil. So I took Dayquil. So I'm a little tetrahydramine because that's the ingredient that makes you guys feel funny when you take stuff like that. That's what's in my system. So it's a tiring sensation, but I'm not sleepy tired, I guess, is like you would get. I'm just going to straighten this up. That way we can cut some 5-inch squares from it. When you were talking about point on point. Oh, I'm just making an on point quilt. And the pieces that are cut to do the setting triangles are actually cut bigger so that, so I'm using 5-inch squares. Put it that way. When you're putting something on point, you need to be able to cut a bigger square to cut on you cut on both diagonals, creating 4 quarter square triangles. But that leaves the outer sides of that whole entire thing. When the setting triangles go in, those outer sides are not on the bias because you do not want to put a piece on the bias. I've done it before, but that's just because the way I had to cut such a large piece. But the setting triangle itself, those outer sides, the straight side of the straight grain should be the part that's setting triangles. So you need to cut a bigger piece so that you can cut it on the diagonal 2 times so that you can create the setting part. But I'm also cutting 5-inch squares. So I need enough fabric to cut, I think it's 8 3/8. I'm not sure. I have to look at my chart again. I have a chart for setting on point. Because it's done quite often. I think it's, especially when I'm trying to design something. This is just a spur of the moment project, but this is definitely a number that you guys can use for anybody that wants to set 5-inch squares on point like I'm going to be doing. Because that's the simplest thing I can think of that makes it look hard and complicated. All right, a little bit more to press. Just a little bit more. And to make this easy on myself, I am just going to fold it in half. And we're going to cut from one side and one side only. Okay. So we're going to go back over to the cutting table and cut out some 5-inch squares to blend in with it. And yes, I'm using solid. You guys know I always use, I have a thing for using solids. I don't know why, but I think it brings out the fabric instead of using a matching print. I don't know. I guess we all have our personal preferences. But instead of using a print that matches, I like solids. Don't know why, I just do. It doesn't make me weird, it just makes me cheap. Because solids are cheaper than any other thing. So, all right, we're going to line these up on the fold so that I can cut both at the same exact time. We're going to start with the 5-inch squares because it's the easiest. And I think my chart disappeared. Yeah, for 5-inch squares, it's 8 3/8. Move this up to a good number. Line it up. But we're just going to cut the 5-inch squares for now. There we go. That's lined up. That's lined up. Up there. And I need my weight, which is under my microphone. This cold killing me. Non-meds, ear ache, and sore throat. I'm calling doctors. Yeah, I would get on it. Definitely, Vicky. Get yourself better. I have to squeeze in here and grab my weight. And I have no idea if these 5-inch squares are measured from the outside or the inside of the pinking. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up because I can make my cut different sized if these are measured from the inside and or outside. So I can adjust my cut. So we have it right here. Oh, wow. These are like 5 1/8. Yeah, these are 5 1/8. So I'm going to either cut the pinking off, which I really don't want to have to do. I should just leave it on, or adjust my cut. So I'm going to adjust my cut to make it easier so that I don't have to cut all those. So they are measuring at 5. Let me take another piece and look just because. 5 1/8 from the outside of the pinking because I'm just going to measure from that. Wow, these are really cut big. So from the inside of the pinking, they're probably 5 inches, but I don't want to have to line them up that way since I'm putting a quilt on point. I kind of want to just adjust my cuts to fit these. So that's lined up. And let's cut some 5-inch squares. I need 30, so I think 2 5-inch strips should give me, no, 3 5-inch strips should give me 30. So let's take this over to 5 1/8. Right there. And right there. This is so hard to do that. 5 1/8. 1/8. 1/8. It's an oddball cut, right? But yours should be 5 inches if you guys want to make this. I just have to remember my subcuts need to be 5 1/8 as well. So I'm going to just cut 2 more just because. So 5 1/8. 1/8. 1/8. 1/8. Right there. Right there. That's lined up. That's lined up. All right. And anything I have left, it'll just go in my 5-inch square things, and I'll just whatever. So we're going to set this aside for now. Now I'm going to subcut these into 5 1/8 inch squares. Like I said, anything I have left, I'll just cut down to exactly 5 inch, like the rest of my 5-inch squares. But I'm alternating blocks, and I just need 30. or more, depends. Because I'm trying to just have a full blend, and this is going to be a very bland quilt, but that's okay. No big deal. Stay, stay, stay. Cut the selvage off and come over 5 1/8 because that's what my squares are. Such a dumb number. If you hear talking in the background, the guys are playing video games, the boys. 2, we'll make 3, 4 cuts. And we're just going to rotate every other block, and then we need to cut after this my on point parts because every block starts with that. 5 1/8. This should be able, without laying it out, should be able to just sit down and make it. So here's some of those. And now I need 8. Let's see. I don't even know how many rows across and how many down. So let's find that out by laying this out on the floor. I guess instead of what I was not going to do was lay it out on the floor. Hi, Sylvia. Hi, Sharon. All right. So I'm going to turn the camera and we're just going to lay on the floor, I guess, and play around with these. And then I'll cut the setting triangles. So I just threw it all on the floor. Let's go down to the floor. You guys can watch me crawl around. There. So this is going to be on point. So I'm going to set it up. And my camera looks like it's falling off of the tray. There we go. You guys have seen me do this before. I'm just going to get down here and I'm going to organize them and lay them out. Oh, I can't see. So hopefully you're not talking. I'm going to try to move the colors around though, because I don't want all the same ones next to each other. So every other block will be something else. Blendy, blendy, matchy, matchy. Oh, well. Really wanted high contrast, but that's not going to happen. So I'm going to save it to where some sections have the set in triangle. This is just going to be a small little project as well. It's very tiny. There's 3 of every print, it looks like. Okay. Now let's start with that one I started with right here. Kind of like dull, but not at the same time. I don't know. I'm just building. Oh, that matches that one. I want that one there. Oh. So we want setting triangles to come down this way. So that's too close to that. Let's put this here. And that as a row. And let's fill these in now. It's going to be a small little thing. fill this in up here. Fill this in there. Start coming down this way. That row and that row straight. Just a little small project. This goes here. There. I know it looks weird. It's also hard to lay out when you're doing this. Oops, we need one on that end up there. So that way, and one leftover piece. We're going to pull these yellows. So it's going to get a corner setting here. Make this little dinky thing with one piece left over. Am I missing something? Oh yeah, I missed not one piece left over. This gets two corner triangles there. Just like that. Okay. So it looks weird. Swap these two. Swap these two. There we go. That looks better. So it's just a little project. All right, now let's cut this corner setting triangles. Look at that, I had just enough pieces. So we get 4 per. Oops, that's too high. Sorry, guys. I need 8 3/8, which I'm going to adjust because my blocks were just a little bit bigger. So we're going to do 8 5/8. That way it's just enough. Throw that down. So we're going to line this up nicely. And we're going to use the board for this number. And I only need 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 5 blocks. So this is 1, 2, yeah. Okay. 8 3/8. So let's count over. Lined up on a line, lined up on a line. That's not very straight. My lines get so crooked. Stay right there. We're going to come over 8. And what did I just say? I totally forgot. 4 3/8. 4 5 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3/4. We're just going to cut 8 3/4 to make it even better. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 3/4. Right there. 8 3/4. That's an easier number for me to remember. Three-quarters was the next number, so it should come out right. Oops. And now, I mean, you could cut these in half and put these in, but then you'll have it on the bias, which is the stretchy part of the grain. I mean, that's depends on the person and who's doing it, but correctly, you need to have it on the straight grain on the outside. Nice and straight, nice and straight. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 3/4 is right there. Makes it easier doing it this way. All right, so what I mean for setting triangles, for those of you who are new, give me a second to cut. So there's, well, let's just put it right there on the 10, so it's easier to count to the 18 and 3/4. There, and right there. Move that out of the way. So when I say it gets cut diagonally twice, we're going to line the ruler up and cut this way. I'm going to cut both of them real quick. And then we're going to come this way. And I'll probably be in front of the camera, kind of. We're cutting on the diagonal both ways. I'm going to cut this one. Oops. So now we have the straight grain on the outside. See? So there's no stretch. I mean, there's a little, but the straight grain is now on the outside and the stretch is on this inside. Can you see that? How it's bowing? So that way, the outside of this little dinky quilt that we're making, this little baby quilt on point, will be set on the inside. So let me turn the camera down back to the floor and show you where these go. And then we'll cut the corner triangles as well. So these are going to go right here like this. All the way around. Except for the end. That's a different number, different size. So they look bigger, which is good because that gives us a great line for making it. And I should have just made this on ironing board probably. I need to cut one more square real quick as well. All right, so let me cut one more 8 3/4 inch square. Actually, I don't need to do that because I have this. So I'll be right down there in just a second. You guys can just look at what's down there. Take one of these real quick. Almost the same size. Yeah, I need one more. Okay. That wasn't going to work. I'm just going to cut one off of here. And my other cut for the corners, for the 4 corners, I'm just going to make one cut that is 5 1/4, it looks like. So let me cut another 8 3/4 real quick, just one square out of here. I'll be down there in just a second, guys. So I'm just cutting one more of those 8 3/8 or 8 3/4 squares real quick, and then I'll cut it on the diagonal. And then the next cut that's going to be from the same piece of fabric, which will give me a little bit of scrap, but I'm just going to cut a 5 1/2. Where was my number again? 5 inch. We'll see right now. Three-quarters. Hi, Pam. Hi, Lynn. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see you guys' names are new. That's why. You're staring at the floor momentarily while I cut some more pieces because I didn't cut enough, but I only need 2, but that's okay. I'll have extra. There's 2 more. And now I need my corner setting triangles, which I'm going to be cutting. Oh, where are we at? 5. Let's see, 5. I might be able to just use my 5-inch square. I'm just going to cut my 5-inch squares in half. 2 of them. That will work because I had 2 left over. So I'm just going to bring this back up now. So 2 of my leftover 5-inch squares, I'm just going to cut on the diagonal one time, just one time. Just one time. Because I only need 4 little pieces. Let's move all this extra scrap stuff out of the way. All right, so here's my corner setting triangles, which I got to turn the camera back down for you guys to see it laying here. I'll show it one more time and then we'll start building it in rows. I'll show you guys how it goes together. Okay. So this is, hi, Teresa. Okay, so this is how it goes. Here's the corner setting triangle. These are the side setting triangles. I'm using my feet as the guide to show you guys. And this is going to go together in rows. You've seen me do this before, but this is so easy because it's so little. This is 1 row. This is 1 row. This is 1 row. And so on and so forth, all the way to the other side. See? So let me put these together and I'm just going to do it from the floor, I guess. Because I don't feel like doing it any other way. So I'm just going to come up here. We're going to stay right here now. Just turn it like this so you guys can see right there. And I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see the screen and change out this foot because I have the wrong one on here and I want my 1/4-inch foot on here. And I'm just going to keep this cream thread in here. You guys saw my video that I posted earlier. I had cream thread in it for the projects that I was doing on the side. So I'll just keep using that because no point in changing. All right. Let's sew this on point. So again, these were 5 1/8 inch squares. They were not 5-inch squares exactly. They all turned out 5 1/8, which is because that's the outside of the pinking, but it's a 30-piece pack. Then I cut 2 yards, but I've only used, let's see how much is left. I used 1 yard and 3 inches. I used 1 yard and 3 inches so far to cut all those. And then the rest I can use for making its border and be done with it, you know? So 1 yard, 1 30-piece pack of the fabric thing. So you can just use 30 charm squares for this. This is making a baby one. This things that I can do in one video kind of thing. And 1 yard and 3 inches so far of fabric. And they were cut at 8 3/4 to make the side setting triangles. And the corner setting triangles with the leftover 5-inch squares that I cut from the yardage to make the the corner triangles. There we go. So now I'm going to just bring up row 1 and sew it together and show you how it's done. So here was row 1. It was sitting over there like this, like that. And this was row 1. So this is row 2. This one is going to be sewn together where all these are on the straight, and then we'll trim it. And then this one goes on it. Okay. So I'm just going to put this right sides together with this one. Sew these together. And we'll just up and down from the floor. And I'm using the outside of the pinking as my edge because that is what we've measured from with all these squares. And I am also going to finger press everything towards the printed fabric and my solid away from my solid. So that way that everything will end up opposites. So we're going to put this right sides together. That way when I go to join every seam, they'll all be alternating. That's where the super simple beginner can do this. As long as every seam is the same direction. So again, I'm going to just finger press this in towards this. And I'm just going to try to finger press this whole project. So these go in like that. This. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off. I know you guys say this, don't do this until you join the rows, but I'm going to do it now between every single row. I'm going to straighten this up right here using the block as the guide. And I'm going to cut off these big long dog ears like that. And I'm going to join this onto here now. And you'll have a 1/4 inch about on each side. Just line it up. About a 1/4 inch on each side, sticking out these little triangle pieces, which is fine. Sew it on. And this can just be pressed out. So here's my corner so far. And you can see it's nice and straight and flush. I'm going to stick this down there and grab the next row. So it alternates like this. I'll try to lay some of them up here, but you'll see. So it'll alternate like this. So you can see how that goes. Okay. So again, just going to start with this one. And every time I finger press, it'll be towards the printed fabric, not my solid. So again, just going to finger press it towards this. Grab the next one, put it on. I should be able to do this whole entire little baby quilt in one video so you guys can see how it goes together. And I'm just going to finger press the whole entire thing. And there's no cutting of any other things besides the yardage for the background. Adding this last one, it's going to go right on here, right sides together, just lining it up. And remember, you're sewing on the bias, so it's very stretchy, but the outer side is not. Again, finger pressing this in towards the printed fabrics. And I'm just going to go ahead and trim these off of here. I'm getting it done now. At this point in time, let's get it done. And now I'm going to attach row 1 and row 2. So let me leave this up here so you guys can see. And then I'll just start putting it together fast, like I normally work. So these now go like this. So now that we have pressed all these to the printed fabrics instead of the solid or what you would call your background, now that they're all pressed towards this seam goes in this way, and this seam is coming out this way. So when I put these two right sides together, they will nest just like so. So this bottom is all going out, and this top is all coming in. So these go right sides together, and you just hold those seams, or you can put a pin in it. Again, the end is going to have that little triangle point sticking out about a 1/4 inch. That is a good thing. You want that. You can pin the junctions. This is a very small project. Doesn't really need pins, honestly. That's personal opinion. You don't really need pins on small projects like this. There's not many seams to cross over and so on and so forth. And I'm not pressing anything until the very end. Now, just going to finger press this towards the out corner, and I'll try to do all the rows the same way. So here now is a corner. Hi, Linda. First time catching you live. I love your work. Thank you. Hi, Misty. Almost missed it. You didn't miss it. I just got here. So, all right. So I'm going to grab the next row and the next row and the next row. I'm just going to keep laying everything down. So I know that each row starts and ends. Each row starts and ends with this. Okay. So it starts with that. And then it would go here like this. And then this, and this, and this, and this. You guys saw it laid out. So I'm just going to keep it just like this. And I'm going to start sewing them all together. And this is just a little baby project. Didn't use much fabric. Very, very, very beginner friendly. I'm just sitting where I am, finger pressing everything in. Don't need the iron until the very end because this whole project will fit on my ironing board. Because my ironing board is so big and this is pretty small. So we get this done in one video. Yeah, both eyes. Both eyes are getting surgery, you mean, Vicky? Again, I'm finger pressing each and every row all towards my printed fabric. This is some pretty thick fabric too from this company, fabric. What did it say? Fabric Central? Fabric something? I don't remember what I said exactly. Just making a small little project. Okay, now add the last piece and making sure that you didn't turn it around and put it on the wrong side. So make sure that your triangle, your corner, or your side setting triangle is laying the specific way it's supposed to. And before I even go down and lay this with the next piece, I'm just going to cut off the ends like this. So I'm just going to line this up. Lining my ruler is what my guide is along. Come over to this one, lining the ruler on the fabric itself, the rest of the row, because it should be nice and flush, just to get a nice little straight line, because I am cutting off quite a bit. So I'm just going to put this one with that last one. So here's the next two like this. And I don't want to have to keep turning the camera down for you guys to see. So here was my corner. So now, again, these are facing this way. This one's facing this way. These are out and in. So all of this should be flush. Put it right sides together. Nest that seam. You can hold it with your finger like so. You can do it from this side, actually. It doesn't look right because it's like ending funny, but when it comes up, oops, that's the wrong side anyway. I knew I was doing something funny. You should have a 1/4 inch on each side. That's that first seam. You gotta make sure. That's why I didn't lay it on the ground first. I should have laid it on the ground. Then I wouldn't have got lost for a second, wondering what I'm doing. And that's the first seam. Hold it there. Grab this in. Hold it there. And then just, instead of pinning, I'm just holding them down with my finger. Works easy for me. Those knees coming on. Come on, stay. And then I just finger press it to whatever side it feels like laying. Feels like laying that way. That's the way it's going to go. we go. So now I have this much done. Ooh, that's a lot of writing. I can't see that far. Vicky, sympathize, cataracts, both of mine 6 weeks apart 7 years ago. Heaven to see again. All the best. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, Vicky, do a Uber. I don't think Vicky does too much computery internet stuff though. Guys, 1, 2, 3. I'm picking up the next row, just one on top of the other, and then both ends I know go on the ends like that. So I just know that they go like this. It's one right on top of the other. So the first one will start with this piece like so. Line it up. And so. And believe me, if I could figure out how to chain piece and hook all these pieces together, you know I would be doing that. Because there's probably a way to do it. I just have to figure it out. You know, the time-saving way. So you guys know me. I'm all about saving time with projects. I'm trying to think of the name. It's on the floor. I think it's on the floor. I think this is one of the thickest fabrics I've ever worked with, honestly. I think it's Fabric Traditions or Fabric Expressions. Fabric Central. 100% cotton. Ah, it's from the Joann's, it says. Fabric Traditions made in Pakistan. Refined charm packs. No wonder it's only 30 pieces because it's Joann's. Nothing wrong with Joann's, but they have odd amount rolls and squares and stuff. My friend is going to that tour tomorrow. Okay. All right, guys. You can chit chat while I throw this together. That way I can get it done. I even have something on the frame outside, but I have no screen on my long arm. So those of you who are not in the group, don't forget to join the group if you're subscribed to my channel. Those of you who do know, some of you don't. My screen on my long arm broke, so I'm waiting for that. Should be here this week, hopefully. So I haven't been able to do much, I guess, paying attention to my numbers. I can't change my numbers and my sizes and my settings and stuff on my long arm. So I've been having to run back and forth to the back of the screen, the front, the back screen, front of the machine, back of the screen, front. Oh my God, it's a hassle. So that's supposed to come this week. And for those of you who also don't know, my daughter was in a car accident. So I've had a lot of stress this last week. And then I went out that next day and I've been sick since, because every time I leave the house, I get sick. So lots of stuff has been going on. My daughter's car is totaled, like literally totaled. But she's okay. She's 100% fine. She had some springs and bumps and bruises, but that's it. So yeah, things have been hectic around here since last week. A lot going on. And as well as I actually went to a guild meeting and brought home some projects and have already completed most of them for the guild for fundraising. All right, grabbing this row, putting it on the next one. I laid it down this time. So yeah, lots have been going on in my life lately. Let's put these together. Just holding the seams. Things have been hectic, and stressful, very stressful. Oh, and I'm not pinning, by the way, just so that you know, again, I just nest the seams up and I hold it with my fingers. And and they nest nicely. Every seam has been finger pressed either out or in, just depending on, they go opposite of each other, all towards the printed fabric. And remember, some pieces of these outer parts are on the bias, so don't stretch those. The setting triangles, the part that's towards the block, not the outside. This is not the stretch, but these sides are. So just be careful with that, especially if you don't use pins like me. All right, we got more done. Let's get the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows and a corner setting triangle, and we'll be done. So here it is so far. That's the way it's going. So we're building it on the diagonal. So this row starts with end. It starts with a end and ends with a side setting triangle. So it starts with a corner setting triangle and then ends with a side setting triangle. So this one starts like this. And yes, I'm building it with it on. So I'm just going to center this on here. Let's see, about right there. Yes, I build mine with the side and end triangles on it. Don't know why I do that. It's just, I guess, the way I do things. Because I'm weird like that, I guess. Some people just build it and then add those last. I just throw them on. No big deal. Oh, I see more writing. I can't see it up there. Oh my goodness, Tiff. Oh my goodness, what? Oh yeah, I've had a week. Definitely, Misty, definitely I've had a week. Luana, Freedom, hi Aunt B. Hi Sylvia. Let's see. Everyone's sorry about your I'll actually give me a second, guys. I'll pull up the pictures so I can show you, because those of you who don't have me on Facebook or anything like that, I'll show you a picture of what her car looks like. You'd think she would have got hurt worse, but she didn't, surprisingly. Like, she definitely had an angel on her shoulder that day. The other car, it was weird. The other car didn't get ruined at all. I mean, it did. It wasn't able to drive away from the scene, but it definitely was surprising how much her car crushed in. All right, let me find a front picture. I'll show you guys what her car looks like, or looked like, because now it's junk. I know you guys see the shadow from the other screen. That was her car. Well, yeah, was her car. So yeah, she definitely escaped from that one. The airbag shattered the window and everything. I didn't know airbags shatter the window. I've been in an accident before, but we had a long dashboard, so my airbags didn't shatter the windshield. But that's what her car looked like. It's being totaled out. She's already got the insurance company thing all set up. It's a lot of stress, let me tell you. And she has a loaner vehicle for now. That way she can get back and forth to work. But yeah, she only got her wrist sprained because the airbag flung her wrist back, so it sprained it. It's pretty crazy. And I'm a mama bear, so I hear car accident, and you think the worst when you don't know what's going on, because she had to be transported in an ambulance and blah 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 blah. So yeah, definitely scary. And when I saw the car, after seeing her and she was fine, and I saw the car, I was like, wow, that was crazy that you were fine. I mean, thank God, obviously, but so much stress. So much stress. And then I went out the next day, taking her all the places she needed to go for the insurance and stuff. And yeah, I ended up getting sick. top everything off. I don't think these stripes are all going to be facing the same direction. I'm trying to look and think, okay, is it going to go that way or that way? I don't care. Don't matter. And one more. This one goes on this end like this. Just pay attention to that. All right, so the only one I need to trim off is this end piece right here, because the corner setting triangle I'm going to leave on for now until I get the rest of those pieces up here on the table. All right, so let me lay this over here in the correct orientation on the floor, and then I'll that goes on like that.
You need help?
Nope. All right. All right, so this one's on here, but now I'm going to trim it off nice and straight with the scissors. And we'll cut this one off too while I'm at it. And again, like I said, I'm building it with the corner setting, the corner triangles built on, just building it with instead of adding them last. So it goes together the same exact way, no matter how you do it. And I just nest these seams and go. I've already built an on-point quilt before with you guys. My little I'm trying to think which one I did on point. I think it's the little bitty stars that I made with scraps. And then I used 10-inch squares cut up for all the side and corner setting triangles and stuff. I think that's the one. Or maybe I used black on that one, but I used 10-inch squares as 5-inch squares to fill it in because they came out 5-inch. All right. So now there's 2 corners on here. So it looks kind of funny. Good morning, Christine. Where's Christine? Oh, hi, Christine. Beautiful 78 here in Lane. Morning. Spring has sprung. Ooh, springtime. What country again? Australia. Okay, so now there's 2 corner parts on here. See, I built mine with the corners on, so there we go. Now let's keep going with a couple more rows, and I'll be done. So this one's the opposite. It starts with a side setting triangle, but ends with a corner setting triangle. And I'll just center that when I get to the end, because that's the last piece. Oh, 11:39 a.m. on a Monday here. See, you're in the future. Christine's in the future, everybody. Ask her what's going on in the future. No, I'm just kidding. It won't work that way, but you know. It's funny to say that because someone's in the future here. At least for me, that's the future. Because it's only... Oh my God, I can't even see that at all. 6:40 here. I think I was supposed to be on at 5, but I ended up getting caught up. We had to vacuum and all that stuff too, which usually gets done early and quick, but today was kind of a little bit slower than normal. That's okay. I'm still managing to get a whole entire little baby quilt done in one video. Hopefully. I'm pretty sure, because I'll stay here until it's done, obviously. Again, I'm just pressing towards the print fabrics, not my solids, The only block that's in here that's bothering me is the yellow one because it kind of matches this yellowish color that I'm using. I mean, it just blends too much. I like contrast, but kind of am running out of solid choices because you guys saw that Minecraft quilt used a lot of solids. A whole heck of a lot. I didn't have anything left over from that to add to my stash of being able to make all this stuff look better. $240. I see that 240, but I can't see the rest. 2:40 a.m. in the UK right now for June. So technically it's Monday there, Monday in the middle of the night. Oh, why? I think because when my son vacuumed in here, it pushed my chair over funky. I felt like I was sitting sideways or something. Let's see, Dewana 841 in Wisconsin, June, Dewana becoming nocturnal and laying in bed. When you visit Dewana, contact me on Facebook. Perhaps we can meet and I can show you some things. What? Who's going to visit who? What? Somebody going out of the country to visit someone? And yes, again, for those of you who are just joining, I am finger pressing this whole project. No sense in going back and forth to the iron until I am completely done. These, like I said, these are pretty thick fabrics. Like if you were here to fill them, these are probably one of the thickest ones I've ever felt, really. And I'm just going to try to center this guy up on here. It's really easy to eyeball it. And if you don't know, you don't know. But I'm making it work. Okay, that's about center right there. Looks right to me. Looks right to me. Press it in. I'm going to cut these ends off. Add this row on. That's nice and flush with blocks. That's my corner setting triangle, if you guys are wondering why it looks so funny. And it's getting two sides cut because I am building it with it on. Nice and straight, nice and straight. Okay. Look at all these little pieces already. All right, let me go grab the row. Just like so. That goes there, just like that. Pick it up off the ground. Oh, shit. Oops, excuse me. Didn't mean to say that out loud. I stepped on it. All right. Gotta stop stepping on things. Okay, here we go. That's the way that goes. That's the way that goes. Right there. Grab it. Starting to get hot in here, and I think it's because my fan is not on. Just holding this seam. Gotta turn my fan on. All this getting up and down is making me hot. Anyone here from New England? I'm the Turner. You know where you live. Wisconsin. Yeah, you guys go ahead and talk about, if any of you guys live close to each other, I think it would be cool if you guys could go hang out and work with each other, you know? That would be awesome. Best place to meet people that live close is right here with me. You never know. Just like I need someone that lives here in Havasu. That would be awesome. But so far, that's not happening. All right, next row. I'm going to pick up the rest of these rows while I'm here because I don't want it to keep getting up and down. That way I can just keep going. And that's my last piece. Oh, I hate when this happens. That was right here. Like that. Yep. And this one goes right there, like that. It got all crooked on me. All right. Anyone here in New England? Tiff, did you meet anyone at the guild that you could hook up? Well, I knew 4 people there already. The ladies at the quilt shop, and then 2 other people. And then the ones that I met, they took all my info down so that we can get together. Hopefully. So we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed that someone could start hanging out with me and helping me with some of the things that I do, you know, or I can at least just have someone to hang out with in my insomniac hours of quilting. A lot of them took my name and number and stuff purposely for long arm quilting. So that should help there too, obviously. Other than that, I haven't talked to anyone since. I will soon. As soon as I can get my quilt show entries finished, then I will have more things because I have to turn in a bag of stuff that I've put together for the boutique. Great for you, Vicky. You and I are in the same boat. I know. Dad's in Michigan. A few hours from there. How many of you go to guilds, by the way? I don't know if I've ever asked that. I know I told you guys my situation with the guild. And yes, again, I went there and I was the youngest by at least 20 plus years was the age difference between me and the youngest looking. I didn't ask anyone's ages, but by the youngest looking woman there, I at least have 20. I'm 20 years younger. And I don't know why they freak out much because you'd think that, you know, guilds, that somebody's got to take over the guild when those people pass on. So why not younger people like me? I don't know why they don't make me feel more welcomed because I'm bringing younger people in to keep it going, you know. It's the only way it's going to work, you know, because some people's grandkids and kids and stuff, they're not interested in this stuff. So somebody that's interested has to start it and keep it going. So that's the only thing that's always weirded me out about it. Like, why are they freaking out about me because I'm younger and tattooed? But the next generation's got to take over soon enough anyway. So they need to be more welcoming to people like me. My age, I mean. Not that there's anything wrong with people like me. It's just my age. I'm just going to cut this without looking. If it's kind of crooked, then it's kind of crooked. It's all going to be hidden anyway. Looks straight enough to me. So if I keep coming down there anyway to grab the rest of the top. Or I could leave it on my lap. Let's see. I haven't tried one yet, but I'm very shy. So Misty, unshy yourself and go to a meeting and see. I didn't join. I just went as a guest. And I took on projects as a guest as well, which is very rare, I guess. Nobody does that, but I did because there's nothing else better to do. And my corner seam got a little squiggly there. Maybe I should pay more attention. Come on, stay. And all these seams are nesting up nicely. Coming to the end right here where that's folded in. Finger press. I had the same experience when you went to Quilt or Craft Group Guild. They were very clean. A lot of places like that. My brother experienced it too when he went to local heritage society. Oh, I think it's beautiful where I am. Okay, let's see, Minnie. Yes, cool. Let's see, Tiffany. Once they get to know you better, they will like you and look past you. I don't think it's just the tattoos. I think it's just because I'm different. You know, like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I'm open. I'm outgoing. I'm not shy. I'm not what's the word for it? I'm outspoken, I guess. Overspoken. Can somebody be overspoken? I like to show, teach, do, and I'm happy-go-lucky. And a lot of them are shy and to themselves. They just want to learn something new or make something for someone, and they're there because, you know, they're doing that. I don't know how to explain it. I'm upbeat. I'm just too hyper. Maybe I just talk too much for some people. I go too fast. As you all know. You guys know that. Not everybody else does. But they know I have a YouTube channel, so we'll see who joins from there. How many new people come from local. Maybe it will be an opening to other opportunities. I know the quilt show part will be, but I'm just entering the quilt show as independent, so I'm not part of anything, a group or a guild or anything. But I did find out all the ways I could enter quilt shows outside of my area. That was one thing I learned while I was at the guild meeting. Alrighty. Look at that, only a little bit more to go after this is sewn on. All Nice and straight. I'm just doing this very, very slowly, carefully. Nice and straight. Grab the quilt top. Lay it here. Make sure it's the direction I want it to be. Almost done, guys. Almost done. This is a simple little project, especially for a beginner. Beginners have trouble with other things, but this would be super easy because it's just putting the squares together. We're not cutting anything extra, just the yardage, which makes it very easy. And if you use a regular 42-piece charm pack and some background fabric, then that would make it a little bit bigger than what I'm doing right here. This is like a 20-minute long arming job plus the 8 minutes that it takes to load the frame, because little projects only take a few minutes. Which you guys know from my live feed, those of you who are in the group, and those of you who are new to my channel, don't forget, subscribe to my channel so you can join the group on Facebook. If you use Facebook, I mean. Some people don't. But if you use Facebook, you can join the Facebook group where I post still photos of everything that I do here, as well as other things that I do in my life, quilting related. Everything is quilting related. All right, just a little bit left to go here so far. See, I'm missing a corner. Lay that out of the way right there. Sew these last few pieces on, and then press the whole project and be done. Oh, wow. There's a lot of talking there. I'll go through it all in just a second, anyone. Unless you have a question. That way I can just keep my flow going real quick with this. If you have a question, though, you might have to rewrite it so I can see. What's a pasty? Who's saying that? I don't know what you guys are talking about. Okay. I'm going to have to go up and look. Unless you're talking amongst each other. I'm almost done, so I'm going to keep my flow going. And those of you who are new to my channel, I do things pretty quick. Miss Speedy Quiltologist here. I'm pretty quick with all my projects. So if I miss something and you have questions, just ask. I'm pretty open about getting back to people about questions and answers. So if you have any questions or want to ask something, feel free to ask. And if I don't get it to you during a live feed, just ask afterwards in the comments. I'm pretty good about answering all of my comments. Let's straighten this out just a little so that stays there. Pretty much one more row to attach and that corner setting triangle, and then it'll be done. And then I will press it. And no idea how I'll quilt it or when, because it'll be a while before I can actually quilt outside, because I've got a big one going on. So here's a little corner missing. Let's finish this little corner right here. And there's my setting triangle. So let's just put this on each side. And then I'll read the comments and chit chat for a sec. just going to build this little corner real quick and then attach the whole thing. Make it easier. So I'll just cut these little ends off. We'll use the ruler on this one. And I know you guys are going to ask, do I save these scraps? No, I do not save these little scraps. I save all my other scraps, but not those little ones. All right, center this on here. Let's center, center, center. Looking good. Grab this, add to it, and be done. Oh, and normally I use a smaller stitch length, but my machine seems to be on 2.5, and I'm totally not used to having a bigger stitch length. It's the weirdest thing. But I was using it the other day, yesterday, for another project, so I didn't change it, and I just left it sewing the whole project together on the same stitch length. All right, guys, so I'm going to press this. I'll take you over to the ironing board because it is now together, and then I'll read comments while I'm over here at the ironing board. Move that out of the way because I can just add a border if I want later, but I'm not going to because it looks okay. I just need to straighten it up. Let me grab the mouse so I can see. All right, so let's go up here and see what you guys have been saying. Drove an hour to get fabric at Walmart. Let's see. I was even way past that. Don't have, let's see, I didn't see that. Okay, had the same experience. I read that. Then now there's, now what a pasty is. I have no idea what that says, Vicky. That's probably why Teresa asked. Once they get to know you. Okay, Christy in Milwaukee. Linda's Milwaukee. It's because you're not 900 years old. I like your show. Do attitude. I do not have a quilt guild. Duana, you don't have a quilt guild there? What about like the county itself? I know our county here has another group as well, but our city has a guild, and there's a lot of people. I was surprised. There was like 68 or 69, 70 people there. It was a lot of people, and there was even three men all together, but the men were visitors. I think they were probably there with their wives. That's a little too far away. Linda, where are you? Between Green Bay and Appleton. Vicky sure does. For about 3 or 4 years, watched a few YouTube videos, a few things about Upper Michigan, and pasties is something they talked about. Oh, okay. I want house and can quilt and travel, like my dream, Duana, about traveling in like a fifth wheel trailer with the like the open thing, a toy hauler, turning into a traveling long arming and teaching. Let's see, Maggie, people get over tattoos. I agree. People get over tattoos. I have 67 people judge me tattoos, and then it's their law. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's more than that. Like I said, I think it's just me. I'm quick. I don't know. You guys know how I am because you guys watch me. Exactly. Groups, mobile guilds, not exactly mobile. Have no sewing stores either. Sad. Maybe one day. Oh, that sucks, June, that you don't have anything. Groups or guilds. Do you want to come visit? Very true, Maggie. You have to get to know the person on the inside, never judge by the outer shell. Maggie, Rebel, got most stuff online. Don't have rats arise. I'm going to start doing this while I read that. And everything's finger pressed, so it should. I don't know which way I have it laying, but it should lay nice and flat. So I'm either going to press this way or this way, just so you guys know, because that's the way everything is laying. And I want it all to lay nice and flat. looks like they're all going that way. I don't give a rat's ass what people think. It's the action that counts to me. Introducing what's tasty. Not a lot of quilt shops near. Drive an hour to get fabric at Walmart. It's food tiff. Oh, okay. You're talking about food. Okay. Would you like to go with meat, vegetables, ham pie? Kids think. Okay. I'm trying to read quick because most of it's you guys talking to each other. Used to sell them. Quick and easy. Anyone made a quilt out of flannel? You want to make one for your grandson? Also use flannel for. I've never used flannel for binding. It might be a little too thick to bind, but I have made quilts out of flannel. It's not that hard. You can do rag quilt. I haven't done rag quilt where I sit and trim those, but I want to do that. But I have actually folded under and made flannel squares itself and used flannel in the back quite a few times. It's not that bad. EME England traditionally, let's see. So not normal. There's savory pastries and sweet ones. A few empanadas. Oh, okay. I know what you guys are talking about now. If it's kind of like that. Oh, it went too fast. Use flannel rag quilts. Exactly. I said the same thing. So I can't watch from the beginning. I've been wanting to do squares on point, and I think it's how you're going to end rows. Mix salt and pepper. Yeah, so not normal. It's actually easier. I just did this small one that I actually just kind of go pretty quick through all this stuff. But if you go back to the beginning after the video is over and watch, it's not very hard to put this together. This is just a little baby project, but I'm not even going to add borders to it. I think I'm just going to keep it the way it is and put just a small little border on it just to be done. Just pressing it real quick, make it nice and flat so I can hold it up so you guys can see. All my seams should have gone the same way. I don't know why it feels like they're not. Bigger charge a lot. Cover towel. Make it 350. Vicky won't make that. Soggy towel. Email me. I'll give you the recipe. Okay. Now I think I caught up on all your guys' comments. All right. I just check all these seams back here because they feel like they're going the correct direction, but some of them are not. Just going to make them lay super flat because that way when I get to the long arming process or whatever I end up doing with it, that everything is flat. Like those two got flipped. That's okay. That one got flipped too. I want everything the same direction because something about being on point is it does not lay super duper duper flat. You need to make it lay super flat. For some reason, because of the stretch and everything being on point, it has a harder time laying flat. And I just want it to be as flat as it possibly can lay. And I'm not going to bother with the border right now or anything like that because I still have to trim it. But once you get it done, here it is. Let me turn the camera. I'm stuck in a corner, guys. So this blends too much, this yellow, but that's okay. It's cute. Let me bring it up close so you guys can see the colors. So there's that. It is not very big. I can tell you that right now. It'll just need a yard of fabric to back it. I know that. It's 41 by 34. So it's 34 by 41. So there you go. Just a little baby thing. I'll just trim it up by squaring it after I'll press it a little bit better. And I'll square by cutting all this off, but everything's laying pretty flush. I'll square it up and then put like a 2.5 inch border just so that it stays of the same color just to end it. And that's it. So super cute little baby quilt. And it's neutral, boy or girl. So that actually helped when I put this little thing together. It's neutral colors. So because yellow goes for boy or girl. So there we have it. All right, guys. So I finished a whole quilt, a whole little baby quilt, but still the same thing, in a video. I wanted something simple but easy, beginner friendly for you guys. Again, it was a 30 pack. I know that's so weird, right? A 30 pack of these squares just to make what I've made of the 5-inch squares, which were 5 1/8. So I had to adjust my corner setting triangles, which are these, or I mean side setting triangles. So those I cut my 5-inch squares at 5 1/8 to match these. Okay. But if you're using 5-inch squares, it's going to be one number less, you know? And then my corner setting triangles, I cut at 8 3/4. So they were supposed to be cut at 8 3/8, but I cut 8 3/4. No, 8 4. I'd have to look up the number. It's in the beginning of the video. I cut them on a diagonal twice. I only needed a few squares. If you're making something bigger, you'll need bigger pieces and bigger squares. And then my corner setting triangles, I used the leftover 5 1/8 inch squares, cut them on the diagonal, and bam, those are the corner setting triangles. So side setting triangles were 8 3/4. I cut on these because my squares were 5 1/8. So there we have it. And then I set everything on the diagonal, and I built it with those end pieces with the corner setting triangles. I don't bother adding those last because then it confuses me. So I added it with. And it lays pretty darn square. Just needs to be trimmed. So, all right. I hope you guys are doing all the things that you guys do on Sew Sunday. Get that sewing done, as well as all of you that are new to my channel. Don't forget to head down there, subscribe, hit that bell. Once you hit that bell, you're going to get a little option that gives you notification settings to get, whenever you want notifications sent to you, text, email, whatever, or dings on YouTube when I'm on live and or post videos, as well as like my videos and share them if you guys like them so much. Plus it helps me. Other than that, I'm glad all of you guys came and joined me today. This is the first. I have 38 people, it looks like, right there. That is like the first for me. I hit over 600 subscribers now, so I think that's why. And I'm glad it's going up, guys. Thank you guys so much for helping share the videos and stuff and helping me get new subscribers. That's great. We need to hit 1,000. 1,000 is my number because then I can record from any device, anywhere. So, all right, you guys have a great Sunday and get some sewing done. Bye, guys.